Someone died today at work and they put us back to work 1 hour later. Still trying to comprehend what's going on here, but I'll do my best to explain. Context: I work in an older lumber mill, built in the 60s, so we have a lot of older equipment. These machines we work with are constantly breaking down and causing upset conditions. So today as I'm coming into work, our machines were running like crap. Common problem they've been planning on fixing for 2 months now. The man who was operating the machine at the time was dealing with this problem and had been clearing out the wood as part of his job to keep the machine going. These sheets of wood are over 200 pounds a piece, and they're in stacks of 30-50. So he's manually moving these stacks by hand. As he finishes restacking the entire load, he passes out either due to exhaustion or a combination of different health problems and exhaustion. At that point he hits the concrete floor, face first. He then lays there in blood for the next 10-15 minutes until someone finds him. The first people to arrive start CPR until the ambulance shows up. Once paramedics arrive, they take over chest compressions and transport him to the hospital. Fast forward about 30 minutes and all of day shift starts showing up. They call the entire company into a meeting to inform us what had happened. This meeting lasted about 5 minutes, in which they politically tell us this wasn't due to unsafe conditions, and to get back to work. All of us confused and concerned, we walk back to our departments and start working. Now we're working and the same issues keep coming up, causing the same upset conditions. We're fighting to restack the wood when an employee tells the boss something along the lines of, "Well, I see we're never going to fix this and this is what we're worth to the company." The boss responded with a stereotypical political boss answer and ended with, "If you guys don't feel we support you, you can shut the line down and go home." We all look at each other, take off our hard hats and walk out on him. Not sure what happens next, or if any of us have jobs anymore. But we'll be damned if a company is going to treat us like our lives are expendable. I think in the end we did the right thing. What do you guys think? Did we do the right thing? Would you ever go back? Edit: Rip Robert, you'll be missed by all of us. Edit: I reported it to OSHA. We'll be keeping you informed on what happens in the following days. I'm off Mondays, so I won't be in until Tuesday to figure it all out. But I want to thank you all for your kind words and advice. This is why these subs exist. Thanks again. You defo done the right thing. Check mark. So sorry for your loss. I'd go home. Had a coworker die on the job. Boss gave anyone that wanted it that day and the next day off. Company brought in a counselor. This felt like the bare minimum. Always remember how easy it is for work to replace you and how hard it will be for your family to replace you. Pick family over work as often as you can. OSHA has a phone line. Maybe use it? See, my opinion is the boss feels too comfortable saying that shit. Used to be bosses who said that had their business destroyed. Literally. Like with a fire. Call the news. If you're in a small town, call the nearest big town city news station. Please inform the family of the ongoing issue that lead to this so they can contact a lawyer and file wrongful death lawsuit. This was a preventable death and they valued money over this man's life. Get as many of your coworkers who are willing to write their account of the situation with the machinery, or if they would give their contact info in case the lawyer needs to contact them for a statement. I am not a lawyer, but fuck that company. This is why you never, I repeat never, bend over backwards for any company or any job. You are merely selling some of your time so you can afford to live the life you want. Time to call OSHA. Doll whatever state labor agency of your state. The employer is not only having you work in unsafe conditions. Once he knew about how unsafe it was, he didn't care fixing things. That tells a lot about how he cares about his employees, but also about how in danger all the employees are. If you're in the United States, this walkout was a collective employment action against an unfair labor practice, and you are legally protected from termination by federal law. If they try the old "we can fire you for any reason or no reason" line, remind them that at-will employment is a state law that does not supersede federal protections, and the burden of proof will be on them to demonstrate that the terminations were not retaliatory. Bravo! A strike doesn't have to be carried out by a union. Any group of workers can decide to withhold labor until unfair or unsafe labor practices are addressed. Your coworker need not have died in vain. Stay out until the company makes it right. Definitely the right call. That's abhorrent, regardless of it being from unsafe conditions or not. Remind them that they're the ones trying to convince us we're all family while also sweeping a death under a rug. Fuck them. Try to collectively talk to a lawyer as well as informing OSHA. Talking to lawyers can be stressful with the expenses in mind, but nothing will change until they're hit in the pockets. Fucking hell, that's terrible. But I must say I was really worried about all the ways this person might have died given your explanation of the working environment. While I wish he didn't die at all, part of me is glad it was from being slowly crushed to death or falling into a machine. Passing out and lights out I hope was painless at the time. And before you say it, the slow death of being overworked to death is no picnic either. I get it. That is definitely a tools down, time to walk situation. Call OSHA. If your boss reported it as mandated, they are already planning a visit. If he didn't report it, they will most likely show up with the sheriff and shut the place down until they complete an investigation and fine him hundreds of thousands. Smells like a class action lawsuit. Not only should you leave, you add your coworkers should milk them for everything they have. Ungrateful assholes. You did the right thing if you felt the working conditions were unsafe. Also, I'm sure people needed time to process and grieve. Now is the time to unionize if you are not already. Gather any documentation you can. Get statements. The company is almost literally trying to get away with murder. Yes, you did the right thing. And yes, there are 1,000 Joses that will take your place. Unionize the shop. Looks like you just made a first union action for safer working conditions. Can you let us know how this plays out? Remind me 2 days. You underreacted. Should have forced the boss man to clear that lumber himself for a while and see if considers it normal operation. Unionize. Don't let Robert's death be in vain. I'm so fucking proud of you and your coworkers right now. The amount of strikes going on in different industries at the moment is warming my heart. Please do continue to fight for your right to work in a safe environment. You deserve much better. They really are showing you that they value their product continuing to flow uninterrupted over the lives of their employees. 2 weeks ago, a coworker died on the job at work. The next morning we all attended a meeting where we were told to look out for each other and ourselves. Counseling was available. We were told to take whatever time off we needed. None of us went back to work that day. It felt disrespectful to do otherwise. Some didn't make it back to work that week. This is how an employer looks after their people. R.I.P. Robert. What state did this happen in? I'm sorry for the loss of your coworker and for that entire fucked up dystopian experience. I'm glad you all walked out. I hope that mill never recovers.